According to National Electrical Code Section 645.11, a disconnecting means is required for all uninterruptible power supply systems, regardless of their location. National Electrical Code Article 645 does not provide a specific definition for an information technology equipment room. However, based on the Underwriters Laboratories Standard 607, an information technology equipment room is defined as a room intended primarily for housing servers, mainframe computers, data storage systems, telecommunications equipment, and related equipment. To evaluate if a room is considered to be an information technology equipment room, we can use the characteristics provided by the definition in Underwriters Laboratories 607. Key characteristics include housing servers or related equipment and limited access. The absence of raised floors, firewalls, or a dedicated heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system are factors to consider. While a room might not possess all typical features of an information technology equipment room, it might still meet some criteria. The final determination rests with the authority having jurisdiction. If the authority having jurisdiction classifies the room as an information technology equipment room, then disconnecting means are required for both the 15 kV amps and 5 kV amps uninterruptible power supply systems. Even if the authority having jurisdiction does not classify the room as an information technology equipment room, disconnecting means are still required for both uninterruptible power supply systems, since the National Electrical Code doesn't provide an exception for any uninterruptible power supply systems from this requirement. The disconnecting means should be readily accessible and located within sight of the uninterruptible power supply system or remotely located and capable of being locked in the open position. The disconnecting means must disconnect all ungrounded conductors of the uninterruptible power supply system from the supply source. It should be legibly and durably marked to indicate its purpose, unless located and arranged so the purpose is evident. For specific requirements regarding the disconnecting means, it is essential to refer to the latest edition of the National Electrical Code and consult with a qualified electrical inspector or engineer. The National Electrical Code is a comprehensive set of standards and guidelines for safe electrical installations. Understanding and adhering to these requirements is crucial for ensuring the safety of personnel and equipment. Some additional considerations for uninterruptible power supply systems and information technology equipment rooms are proper grounding, adequate ventilation to prevent overheating, and fire suppression systems. Regular maintenance and inspection of the uninterruptible power supply systems are also essential for ensuring their reliability and performance. Consulting with qualified professionals can provide guidance on these aspects. Understanding the terminology is important. Uninterruptible power supply refers to a device that provides backup power in the event of a power outage. It typically uses batteries to store energy and can provide power for a limited time. Authority having jurisdiction refers to the organization, office, or individual responsible for enforcing the requirements of a code or standard, or for approving equipment, materials, and installation, or a procedure. Disconnecting means refers to a device used to disconnect electrical equipment from its power source. It must be able to safely interrupt the flow of electricity and should be readily accessible. Kilovolt amps is a unit of apparent power, which is the product of voltage and current. It is commonly used to rate the capacity of uninterruptible power supply systems and other electrical equipment. The Underwriters Laboratories is a global safety certification company that develops standards and tests products for safety. Underwriters Laboratories 607 is a standard for information technology equipment, including servers, mainframe computers, and data storage systems. When evaluating a room to determine if it qualifies as an information technology equipment room, consider the following factors. Firstly, the primary purpose of the room. Is it primarily used for housing servers, mainframe computers, data storage systems, telecommunications equipment, or related equipment? Secondly, access control. Is access to the room restricted to authorized personnel only? Thirdly, the presence of raised floors. Raised floors are often used in information technology equipment rooms to provide space for cabling and to improve airflow. Fourthly, fire suppression systems. Information technology equipment rooms typically have fire suppression systems to protect equipment from damage in the event of a fire. Fifthly, dedicated heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. A dedicated heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system helps to maintain a stable temperature and humidity level in the room, which is important for the proper operation of the equipment. Sixthly, the presence of firewalls. Firewalls are used to prevent the spread of fire from one area to another. While these are helpful for determining if the room qualifies for an information technology equipment room, the authority having jurisdiction will ultimately make the decision. Now let us look at the disconnecting means. The disconnecting means must be readily accessible. This means that it should be easily located and reachable without the need to climb over obstacles or move equipment. The disconnecting means must be located within sight of the uninterruptible power supply system or remotely located and capable of being locked in the open position. If the disconnecting means is located within sight of the uninterruptible power supply system, it should be clearly visible and easily identifiable. If the disconnecting means is remotely located, it must be capable of being locked in the open position to prevent accidental re-energization of the uninterruptible power supply system. The disconnecting means must disconnect all ungrounded conductors of the uninterruptible power supply system from the supply source. This ensures that the uninterruptible power supply system is completely de-energized when the disconnecting means is opened. The disconnecting means should be legibly and durably marked to indicate its purpose, unless located and arranged so the purpose is evident. This helps to ensure that personnel can quickly and easily identify the disconnecting means for the uninterruptible power supply system. The marking should be durable and able to withstand the environmental conditions in the area. Some additional safety considerations for uninterruptible power supply systems include ensuring that the batteries are properly maintained and inspected regularly. Batteries can release flammable gases, so it is important to provide adequate ventilation in the area where they are stored. Uninterruptible power supply systems can also generate heat, so it is important to ensure that they are properly cooled. Overheating can damage the uninterruptible power supply system and create a fire hazard. Regularly inspect the uninterruptible power supply system for any signs of damage or wear. Replace any damaged components immediately. Never attempt to repair an uninterruptible power supply system yourself unless you are a qualified technician. Working with electrical equipment can be dangerous, so it is important to take precautions to protect yourself from electric shock. Always disconnect the power to the uninterruptible power supply system before performing any maintenance or repairs. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment, such as gloves and safety glasses. Use insulated tools when working with electrical equipment. If you are unsure about how to perform a task safely, consult with a qualified electrician. Remember that electrical codes and standards can vary depending on the location. It is important to consult with the authority having jurisdiction to determine the specific requirements for your area. Staying up to date on the latest electrical codes and standards is essential for ensuring the safety of personnel and equipment. The information provided here is for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. Always consult with a qualified electrical inspector or engineer for specific recommendations related to your situation. The National Electrical Code is a living document that is updated regularly. It is important to stay informed about the latest changes to the National Electrical Code to ensure that your electrical installations are in compliance. There are many resources available to help you stay up to date on the National Electrical Code, including online training courses, seminars, and publications. You can also consult with a qualified electrical inspector or engineer for assistance. By following these guidelines, you can help to ensure the safe and reliable operation of uninterruptible power supply systems and information technology equipment rooms.